A week ago, the Jazz had a hard time anytime they matched up against one of the elite teams in the NBA. But for the third time in as many games, they battled one to the wire, this time falling short to the Boston Celtics, 129-119. It's POSTCAST. David Locke along with Ron Boone bringing you POSTCAST tonight. We got to do this fast because I got to get Vegas for New Year's, baby. Oh, wait, maybe for something else. 11:15 flight out of here. I think we'll make it. I really thought this was, this game is the Jazz leading by 3 at the half, I think it was. The game does not go outside of 6 points for about a span of about 20 minutes of basketball. So this was back and forth, playing toe-to-toe, possession by possession. I thought really good game planning from both coaches, good fun systems to run. This was a really enjoyable game tonight, and I thought it was another step in the right direction by the Jazz.
I totally agree with that, David. And like you, I enjoyed watching this basketball game as well because you could see the players that needed to make plays made plays in the game. It wasn't necessarily a stellar defensive team from either side of the ball, but it was still fun to watch. And you look at a guy like Derrick White, who for the most part took over the ball game there in that fourth quarter.
Derrick White had a historic night tonight. There are only 3 players since the year 2000 that are guards that have had 25 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 blocks in a game. He finished the night tonight with a 27 points, 5 rebounds, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 7 block shots tonight. I mean, that was one of the best guard all-around performances you'll see in NBA.
And I noticed one way he blocked shots. I mean, he was up to block Lowry's shot, which means he started to elevate the block Lowry's shot before Lowry started to elevate. And he was coming from the weak side, which means he was blocking Lowry's shot from the side. But he started to elevate first before Lowry goes up. So that means when Lowry's starting to go up to shoot, he's going to run into White up there to block the shot.
It's an interesting thing. I also saw him trailing Keontae. I'd be curious to go back and see who his 7 block shots are against. Who did he get in this game would be interesting to see because it's really an interesting thing. The thing I really liked about this game, Ron, is I thought both teams were intelligent.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is like in open floor opportunities, when Simons came in and had Filipowski on a mismatch, he just went at him. When Collier had a mismatch, he just went at him. There were certainly an approach. Derrick White tonight guarded Lauri Markkanen, which is incredible at 6'5", that he went on the 7-1 guy. And then they had Jordan Walsh when he was in the ballgame guarding Keontae. Walsh only played about 13 minutes. It wasn't very successful. But it was very interesting to watch the different matchups. Then White would switch. I mean, to White's point also, is White, I would guess, played 35 minutes tonight or so. I would guess in those 35 minutes, he guarded either Keontae or Lowry in every single minute he was on the floor.
Yeah, he's the better defensive player on the team. And the fact that, he's a shot blocker there as well. Anytime a player can, for the most part, stay in front of a player and make a player make tough shots. So like I just mentioned, how they made Jaylen Brown make tough shots. I mean, there's not a lot you can do about that, but make guys that are supposedly good, that's going to shoot a lot of shots, make the shots tough for them.
Jazz really played pretty well. Celtics shoot 51%, only 30% from 3. There's a lot of positives. The one thing that was a bad matchup about this game for the Jazz that you knew coming in and turns out to be a bad matchup is that the Boston doesn't turn the ball over and the Jazz don't force turnovers. So Boston ends up taking 7 more shots tonight and only turning it over 7 times, which really makes it so they have a very good offensive game. Their offensive rating's a 128 by the end of the night. All right, let me flip to the Jazz for a second. The Jazz offense has been much, much better. 2 things have changed the Jazz offense: paint touches and lack of turnovers. They only turned it over 13 times tonight. Their offensive rating tonight was a 117. It got a little quiet as the night went on, but Boston only allows a 111. So for the Jazz to be at 117, that's pretty good. The Jazz really are finding a good offensive rhythm right now.
Game plans mean everything. And you mentioned earlier about how the game plans for both teams, was it showed out there on the floor. And so with that, I mean, it's not a lot you can say because you keep yourself in the game and give yourself a chance to win.
Jazz continue to just grow and grow and grow. Keontae is now got over the last 9 games, Ron, is averaging 32 points a game. He had 37 again tonight. I don't think we should forget about we cannot take a 37-point night against Derrick White, right? Like, let's go back to this. This is against one of the best defenders in the league. The whole game plan is stopped Keontae. Everyone knows it. They're not trying to stop anything else, and he's dropping 37.
Yeah. Just.
Hey, Thurl. Thorough, look at this. This is the comment section. Look what they're saying about you. You got to come read this. See that? Dang, Thorough looks good. They think you're Booner. You're the best. All right, back to Keontae. What did you see tonight out of it? Just another stellar performance.
What we've seen all season long. Balance. He's a general out there on the floor. And I tell you what, David, let's see how many shots he ended up taking tonight.
24. 37 points. Remember how inefficient he used to be?
And it's about 6 more shots that he normally takes. So he's usually very efficient with his shot selection, and that's the reason he shoots such a great game.
He had the most shots he's ever taken in the first quarter tonight in any game he's ever played. Yeah. Had the most points he's ever scored in the first quarter as well with 15. So Yusuf Nurkic is having an offensive revival before our eyes.
Yeah, you see what, 33 minutes, almost 34 minutes, 11 shots, made 10, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. He had, and just that little floater. I mean, it's starting to make the game plan for the Jazz more valuable or easier, because if he's starting to make those shots in the paint,
10 of
pick and roll becomes easy.
10 of 11 from the field for him is really, really exceptional. He has always been a notoriously bad finisher, and for him to be able to play like this is a really big find. All right, let's take a negative for a quick second. My book of the reason the Jazz lose this game, when they go watch the film, they played possession by possession with Boston. They just missed rotations. They just missed defensive focused rotations. There were 3 in a row that led to wide open threes where a player, we went back and rewatched them. A player did not make rotations. There was another one late in the game in the corner where our guy just didn't rotate, just got lost. Our guys are still young and inexperienced, and it shows in just their reading of a play before it happens, their anticipation of a play, or frankly, their focus to stay engaged in a possession defensively when the ball might have moved away from them.
Yeah, relax sometimes. Okay, I'm not in the play, so you relax, and then all of a sudden another you swing the basketball, and now you're trying to close out. David, it's a lot of times your rotation is, and sometimes you're just not in the wrong. But usually, rotation, if you're rotating with the basketball, you're going to put yourself in a position to maybe have to recover from 6 or 7 feet more so than 10 or 15 feet away, if you understand what I mean. The closeouts, the scrambling defense that the Jazz had was just too far away.
The 4 plays that we looked at 3 of them, and one of them I saw clearly. We looked at 4 plays. To me, that there were actually 2 different things. One was on 2 of them, either the Jazz player, lost focus or didn't anticipate, depending which way you want. I don't know, right? I'm not in their head. So it either means they just relaxed for a second, or they didn't anticipate where the ball was going. It actually was a pretty easy anticipation. It's one of the 2.
Yeah.
The other ones actually take me back to the fact that these are the best players on the floor.
Yeah.
And the other 2 were both you're freelancing, you're going to steal a steal, you're used to playing where you go for it. And guys, even in college, you can get away with that because 1, you'll probably get the steal, and 2, there's not a chance that guy's going to make that shot. Yeah. In the NBA, you go freelance like that, you will get your handed to you every time.
Yeah, and a lot of times, David, also is that these game plans and these defense that you're putting together is done in the morning at shoot around.
Right.
And so not remembering it or not picking it up sometimes because there is such a short window on the defense you're trying to put in. If you understand what I mean, this doesn't work.
I will say this about coaching. This is where I really respect coaches. Because if I was a coach and any of the 4 plays happen that we're talking about, I would just lose my mind. Right? And we see Will lose his mind sometimes.
Yes.
But those would be infuriating to me, that we run these drills in practice. We do these rotations all the time. We do these things, and then you don't make that rotation. It would be the play that has it so I don't want to play you again.
In practice, they have your shooting coaches, and they're doing everything and try to get you ready. In the game, you got players that relocate. They're in different positions and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of times that second and third pass that the offense end up making, it puts you in a scramble. And, we'd have to talk to the coaches and see how upset they are sometimes with the way the defense is trying to recover. But, sometimes that's just the way it is.
So website where I can look at this, one other note of tonight's game. I thought the Jazz changed their rotation stuff a little bit. And I thought the Jazz played Keontae and Lowry together more than they have in the past. and tried to sneak through some minutes without the two of them. I actually love that approach. I think when you only have two guys, your tendency is to stagger them, but then you don't get enough minutes of them together. And we need minutes of them together. We've got to find a way that when they're not on the floor, I think we went 1 for 10 shooting when they weren't on the floor in the second quarter. And it's probably the stretch that cost us the game. We were down 10. Those guys came in. We went right back up 5. But I do like that. It would be easier if you had Kevin Love and Ace Bailey and some of the guys. I would like that. All right, before we wrap tonight, Ron, Walter Clayton's dunk.
Yes, it was surprised everyone. Me, Thurl Bailey was jabbing me over here in my side, and the bench for the Jazz was all on their feet, and no one saw that coming.
No.
Or it's like they didn't know he can do it. I've never seen him dunk in practice, and obviously we don't see every practice, but that was it surprised everyone.
Jazz fall tonight to the Boston Celtics, 129-119. The great Craig Bolajak wanders behind us. Who are your stars tonight, Ron Boone? Who gets the Jazz stars? Jazz notes.
You think 3 is enough? Because I got obviously Laurie and Keontae and Nurkic for sure. Can't stretch it any further.
I think
than
that's
that.
fair.
Yeah,
I think that's fair. Yeah. Bryce Sensabaugh, by the way, got the start. Taylor Hendricks got the start. Neither of them grasped that opportunity with any star-worthy performance tonight. Jazz fall. Final score 129-119. This has been Postcast. Have a great one. I will be back with you from LA with Ron on the 1st against the Clippers.
Better hustle.